decided to play kicks with the other sector kids rather than do their chores. He regretted that now.
Zeev Kesley, said the man, the second level.
He nodded, clutching his father's hand and using all his will not to duck behind him.
I am pleased to inform you that we have reviewed your aptitude tests and chosen you to receive the physical modifications and training in order to become one of the great soldiers of Her Majesty's army. Your enrollment is effective immediately. There is no need to pack any belongings. You will be provided with all that you need. As it is expected that henceforth you will have no more contact with your biological family, you may now say your goodbyes.
His mother sucked in a breath behind him. Z didn't realize he was shaking until his father turned and grasped him by both shoulders.
Don't be afraid, he said again. A faint smile flickered, then disappeared. Do what they ask and make us proud. This is a great honor.
His voice was strained. Z couldn't tell if his father believed what he was saying, or if it was only a show for the thaumaturges. His chest constricted.
But I don't want to go.
His father's face became stern.
Zeev.
Z looked at his mother. Her dress was still clinging to her slip, but she'd stopped fidgeting. The tears hadn't yet spilled over onto her cheeks. There were wrinkles around her eyes that he'd never noticed before.
Please, he said, wrapping his arms around her waist.
He knew how strong he was. If he held on tight enough, they could never force him to let go. He clamped his eyes shut as the first hot tears slipped out.
Please, don't let them...
Just as a sob tore at his throat, a shadowy new thought slipped to the forefront of his mind. This was a small, pathetic house in an inconsequential mining sector. The people here were miserable and unimportant. His parents were weak and stupid. But he was destined for greatness. He was one of the few selected to serve the Queen herself. It was an honor. The thought of lingering here a moment longer made him sick. Z gasped and pulled away from his mother. Heat was crawling up his neck, spurred by the mortification and shame. How could he think such things? Worse yet, he was still thinking them, somewhere in his head. He couldn't shake them entirely, no matter how much guilt they stirred up. He turned to gape at the thaumaturges. The woman had a smile toying around her mouth. Though he'd first thought she was pretty, this new expression made him shudder.
You will be given a new family soon enough, she said, in a voice that lilted like a nursery rhyme.
We have means of making you accept this and come willingly, should we be inclined to use them. Z cringed, repulsed by the knowledge that she had seen these horrible thoughts. Not only seen them, she had created them. She had been manipulating him, and it had been so seamless, had intertwined with his own emotions so effortlessly. When his peers practiced mind control on one another, or an instructor prodded him with thoughts of obedience, it felt like a new idea being etched into his brain. It was recognizable, and often he found that with enough focus, he could defy it. This was a different level of manipulation, one that he couldn't resist so easily. He knew it then. He would be forced to go with them, and he would become a puppet of Her Majesty, with no more willpower than a trained dog. Behind him, he heard his bedroom door opening. Ran had come out to watch, pulled by his curiosity. Z tightened his jaw and tried his best to stifle his mounting despair. He would be brave, so his brother would not see his fear. He would be strong for him. Some of the terror and dread did begin to fade once the decision was reached. Empowered by the knowledge that it was his choice, that the thaumaturges had not made it for him, he faced his mother and stood on his tiptoes to kiss her cheek. She grabbed at him before he could pull back and crushed him against her, pressing a frantic kiss against his hair. When she released him just as quickly, the tears had begun to fall, and she had